Welcome in again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the R&D Sports Report. My name is Dishmond, and I am joined once again by my good friend Rylee. Rylee, how we doing this evening?
I'm doing just fine, dude.
All right, so we did take last week off. You were away, and I just never had a chance to be able to sit down and do this. So after a week's hiatus, we are back, ready to go. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
This episode will be pretty NBA heavy.
Yeah.
But that's due to this time of year that it is. You just had the draft happen last week, right? We have a couple trades that actually just happened. Free agency is getting ready to start July the 1st, right? So here in just a few days from us, and who knows, as they're listening, it may be the start of free agency. Obviously the big story in free agency is LeBron James. We had the NBA awards that were given out. So a lot to get to, a lot of thoughts to be had, and possibly some arguments along the way. But first place, let's start, is to kind of go back to the draft. Not necessarily going through, obviously, pick by pick, but more the general thoughts and feelings here overall of the 2018 NBA draft. And, obviously the first place to start is with the Suns, and starting with them drafting DeAndre Ayton from Arizona with their number one overall pick. Do you think that's the right move, or should they go? Should they have gone somewhere different with it?
No, I think DeAndre Ayton was probably the best pick they could do. It was either him or Marvin Bagley, I think, should have went to the Suns. I feel like with Devin Booker on the outside and DeAndre inside, could be like another Kobe and Shaq situation, which I think is a quote from Charles Barkley is what I read earlier. But it could possibly be a Kobe and Shaq thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, in all reality, they both would be playing the same positions that Shaq and Kobe played.
Exactly.
DeAndre Ayton, I think it was either him or Luka Doncic, I think is how they said it. I don't know. They said it differently draft night, and I was like, oh, so we've been saying it wrong the whole time. But, it didn't seem like a good enough fit to put Doncic with Booker and have the two guards there. It seemed like that better fit was for DeAndre Ayton. Plus, you get this added benefit. The dude just played his college ball in Arizona. Like, he's already there. People in Arizona presumably know who he is already, right? So you get that factor in as well, kind of like that hometown boy coming home. But you get him at 1. 2 is Marvin Bagley to the Kings. Nothing really against Marvin Bagley, more against the Kings. But you've got you've got a point guard last year in De'Aaron Fox for the Kings. You have a couple of center power forwards there, in Willie Cauley-Stein and Scalabrine, like neither of which have maybe been what the Kings thought they would be. Both have kind of a slimmer frame, more athletic frame. But it'll be interesting for me to see here Marvin Bagley, though, in the NBA. Because if you think of when he played in college, right, he played a lot of zone. And was that due to the fact to try and help him and his teammates, protect on the defensive end? Or can he actually match up one-on-one? That's Coach K did that with the team, and some coaches hate going to the 2-3 zone or any zone whatsoever. A guy like Jim Boeheim plays it pretty much exclusively. So, and then you have the Hawks and the Mavs switching basically point guards there. Which, the draft thing I'm looking here, Luka Doncic is 6'7". I didn't realize he was 6'7".
6'7"?
That's what it says
guard?
here. Yeah, it says point guard, 6'7", 220.
Bro, that's...
I say this is a good size point guard. I thought he was like 6'4",
yeah.
maybe 6'5". I didn't realize he was 6'7".
Average, I was gonna say the average is 6 foot to 6 foot 2 inches. That's usually average.
Well, usually big point guard goes about 6'4", 6'5", which I think Russ is somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably.
But
6'7", that's different.
I know what, and it's odd because we obviously see LeBron play a lot of point guard, but that's not where they list him in their lineup. They don't list him at point guard.
No, not at all.
Ben Simmons, I think they actually do list him at point guard, and he's 6'10", 6'11", something like that.
Yeah,
but I didn't realize he was that big. Wow. But the other thing is here, they trade with Dallas for Trae Young. I think there's some other stuff in there as well, which I didn't realize. I heard this the other day. Is apparently the NBA has a rule. You know how in the NFL draft they can trade picks, right? You'll hear that the Seahawks have traded the 35th pick to the Arizona Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, the NBA locks it in the day before or something like that.
So you can't trade picks the day before the draft?
Yeah, pretty much. So if the Mavericks wanted to go pick at number 1, they would have to do it. I don't exactly know. I want to say it's the day or something before. But whenever that draft locks in, the Mavericks would have to go before that and get the number 1 pick from the Suns. So after, say it's 24 hours beforehand, before it starts, so 7 o'clock the previous day, you would have to have that in. Now, I don't know if that's finalized by the league and all that. I don't know. I haven't read all that. But it was kind of surprising to me because that's why you don't see in-draft trades of picks. You see the players, right? So obviously the Mavericks wanted Luka Doncic, so they worked this deal with Atlanta. Said, "Hey, we like Luka Doncic. You like Trae Young. Let's swap them here." And there's obviously a different pay scale here with the difference in picks,
right?
So the Mavericks gave a little extra up, obviously, because they're 2 picks lower. But a lot of that you kind of have to be careful of for the fact that who's to say that the Grizzlies wouldn't have swiped Trae Young there, right? Obviously they wouldn't have done it,
right, because
they didn't need him. But it's kind of a risky thing there, I think, or maybe it's one of those, if you take him and we can get this, then yeah, we'll you can have the trade. But another big one, that top 10 pick that Cleveland had, right, that they acquired in the Kyrie deal. They took a point guard from Alabama, Colin Sexton. Do you think that it makes any difference here? Are they doing this to try and make LeBron happy? Or, interesting enough, I read this a little bit ago, are they just drafting him for trade bait? Because, now, here's the other apparent rule within the NBA is 30 days after the rookies sign, so whenever they sign these deals, for 30 days they're untouchable, which I think I knew that because I remember the Andrew Wiggins situation. It was like August or whatever before they could trade for Kevin Love. And so, there's some talk that maybe he's just trade bait here. Like, he is a good point guard. I like watching Colin Sexton play.
Yeah.
Watching him, I was able to, watch him play there at Alabama, obviously playing against Kentucky and all that. I saw him a few times.
Yeah. He's a great player, dude.
But, he's exciting. He's got that tenacity. And some say that he's the best point guard in this draft. Now, maybe debatable. But, some like him better than Trae Young. They feel like his style of play, would fit better in the NBA. And I could probably see that. I see Trae Young working out, but I can also see him flaming out too.
Well, here's the thing: is I feel like Colin Sexton has more passion for basketball than Trae Young does. If that makes any sense.
Well, I think his skill set is also a little bit different.
Well, yeah, of course, but I'm saying I feel like Colin has that drive of I'm getting to the NBA, I'm making a name for myself. Trae Young's just there for the money. At least that's how.
Right. Well, that's how you perceive it, right?
Right. And I don't have a problem with that, but I can't stand guys like that. So Trae Young is a great player. I loved watching him at Oklahoma, but I don't know. Like you said earlier, he could be a great player in the NBA, or he could just die down. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So the other interesting thing here is Mikal Bridges drafted by the 76ers. Right? Dude that played his college ball there in Philly at Villanova, drafted by the 76ers at might I say an area where they need some help at small forward. Right? Seems like the perfect fit. Hometown boy, right? I think his mom actually works for the 76ers. Maybe in their HR department or something like that, I think. But, how perfect is that? He's top 10 pick, going there. Seems like the perfect fit, right?
For him,
for the 76ers, all that.
Yeah.
And then they trade him.
Yeah, no, that was a savage move, really.
And it wasn't like you saw some of these guys, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? You saw some of these guys, and he knew already that he was going to be traded from Charlotte to the LA Clippers, right? Really before he even walked across stage, before he got up on the stage. And I don't know if this was like an afterthought with the 76ers of, oh, hey, we could trade him, or what, because they trade him to the Suns, which, honestly, the Suns, I think, had a pretty good draft here in the sense that you get another player alongside Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. You also get DeAndre Ayton. If you're just looking at it, it seems like they're building something where it might be able to grow. It might take a few years, obviously, but we've seen that with Philadelphia. Might take a few years, but could be very effective.
Okay, two things. One, trust the process. Two, they have a lot of potential. Devin Booker, he's slowly getting to his prime.
Well, his stardom seems to be on the rise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, he's probably even far from his prime. I mean, you got to remember when he came into the league, prime for these guys is changing because of when they can come into the league.
Well, I can agree, but I mean, when he scored that 70-point game, no one saw that coming. He's on the Suns. Nobody on the Suns is great, But, the Suns have been crap for plenty of years. I mean, even when Steve Nash was there, But it'll be exciting to see how much potential, or how they use this potential to get better. By the way, who do they get, the 76ers?
They got, I believe it was this Zaire Smith, shooting guard out of Texas Tech. So,
okay.
Well, the thought here is that I believe J.J. Redick's a free agent this year. Okay. And so
I think he's on the Clippers.
And so obviously, if they're going to try to sign LeBron, they can't sign J.J. Redick.
No.
So you got this shooting guard that the 76ers really liked. They swap picks, and I think Phoenix gives up a little extra, obviously. But really, the one that kind of intrigues me is Michael Porter Jr. to the Nuggets, because there's some uncertainty around his back, right? Around his injuries. He set out the whole season at Missouri pretty much with a back injury. And he came back in the end part of the year. But, Denver, I believe it was their GM or something, that they're prepared for him to not play all year or think he might not. And, he's saying he's good to go. Because if you remember right before the draft, he kind of had a little injury hiccup with one of his legs, I believe it was, or something like that. And so it makes you start to worry about him. I mean, this is a big investment for these dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is a big investment for the teams. A guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander skyrocketed because he didn't work out for a whole lot of teams. Right? So you had that mystery, and you could hear what he was doing in these workouts. That gets you up. But at the same time, if you can't work out because you're injured, like a Michael Porter Jr., that's going to drop you down. If you would have said before this past college basketball season started, Michael Porter Jr. probably would have been up in the top 5 easy. Like, he would have gone even, ahead of Kevin Knox, who goes 9 to the Knicks. Right? He probably would have gone way ahead of Wendell Carter Jr., ahead of Trae Young. He probably would have maybe even been in that Jaren Jackson position there to the Grizzlies. But, that's how concerned these teams are with injury history. That's why these physicals go a long way. You think of a guy there in Sam Bowie, right? That he gets injured in college, doesn't really report it, and goes ahead of Michael Jordan, in the draft. Yet he still had a serviceable career, but nothing close to what they thought he would have been. So, some look at him as a bust, but at the same time, he still had a career in the NBA, a serviceable one. But then, you obviously look at a guy like Kawhi now. Kawhi was injured. We don't really know. DeMarcus Cousins is coming off an Achilles injury. He's also a free agent. Like that, throws some. So it's not just the people in the draft. It's everywhere. If you're injured, these teams are a little more skeptical.
Well, especially with their money too.
Well, but you think of a team like a franchise like Portland Trailblazers, right? They draft Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan. Sam Bowie has injuries, and Michael Jordan succeeds, right? They draft Greg Oden. Greg Oden has injuries. Once again, they missed. All right, so trying to get these medicals are very important to these teams. If we go down a little bit more in the draft, Lonnie Walker, shooting guard out of Miami, going to the Spurs, right? Maybe not expected to really put in a whole lot right away, but at the same time, a good organization to be able to learn it.
Well, I mean, Ginobili's gone, so they kind of needed one.
Well, they do, but they're not.
They're not needing one. I'm just saying.
Right? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay, cool.
But it's not like an instance with DeAndre Ayton where it's hey, he's got to start from day one.
Yeah.
You go to the NFL draft and some of these QBs that get drafted, it's oh, well, he's expected to start from day one. But we see, a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't expected to start since day one. He had success. Now, yeah, I know we're mixing sports here, but it'll be okay. But, you go down a little bit. Grayson Allen to the Jazz?
Ooh, I know. That was really
that intrigued. I was kind of I can't decide if I like it if I don't like it.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think they're taking Donovan out for Grayson Allen.
Well, no. What they do is slide Donovan over to point guard, and Grayson Allen plays too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They got Ricky, though.
Yeah,
Ricky
but
Rubio.
see, at the same time, they could trade Ricky Rubio.
Ooh, see, that's the thing. Is one of them, Ricky or Grayson, is trade bait. One of them is. They have to be. Because besides having a backup point guard.
I think even if Ricky Rubio isn't trade bait, he's there to be that veteran leadership. Obviously not 100% sure that Grayson Allen's going to fit into the NBA. Right? He tries his stupid tripping antics. He's like, you try that on a dude like DeMarcus Cousins, you're probably going to get your lights knocked out, right?
I was going to say, he's going to get smashed.
The best part I saw of from draft night there with the Grayson Allen thing, right? They interviewed Donovan Mitchell. He was all happy, about it. And then I saw on Twitter, I don't know if you happen to see this, they showed where Grayson Allen tripped Donovan Mitchell and he bats him in the face.
Yeah, I saw.
While Grayson was at Duke, Donovan was at U of L.
It's fun. It's funny you mentioned that because I follow Donovan on Twitter. So he kind of responded to it and he was like, the good old days. I was like, oh.
Well,
wow.
it is a lot different when these players get to the NBA. Obviously, they know it's a professional, it's their job. The college thing kind of goes away. Yeah, they poke some fun at each other and this and that. I think before two players I know that have poked fun back and forth is Karl Anthony Towns and Gorgie Jang. One went to Kentucky, one went to U of L. They give each other a hard time because of where they went to school, but they get along on their professional team because they know that's their job.
Right.
But I was intrigued there by the Grayson Allen because once again I don't know if I like it or not. I don't really know if I like Grayson Allen going there, but for fit-wise, it might fit in. It might help relieve some scoring pressure off Donovan, I think.
Stop. No. 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 Grayson Allen is going to be trade bait. Okay? Ricky Rubio had... Okay, I'm trying not to get too deep into this, but come on now. You kind of be getting me on a rampage. Ricky Rubio has leadership. He has leadership skills. He's able to lead that team as a point guard, and that's what a point guard's job is, to be a leader and lead the team. Grayson Allen does not have that skill. He's a scorer. That's all he does. He scores. There's nothing else to him. His defense, it's all right, but other than that, he's just a scorer. So I feel like they should trade him, if anything.
Well,
now, I don't think they should trade him. If anything, just keep him as a backup, dude. They don't have a great backup point guard. So if they keep Grayson as a backup, guess what? They're going to do even better on the bench.
Well, and that's maybe what they have Grayson Allen for right now, like a six-man, come off, provide some offense.
That's exactly.
But at the same time, it's not to say that his game will transfer over to the NBA. You look at Donovan Mitchell, right? His game at U of L didn't look like it would transfer over, but when he got into the NBA in a different, it transferred over a lot better than anybody expected. Especially a guy like Rick Pitino who told him he needed to come back.
No kidding.
And we've talked about that, so we won't keep going on it. But if we're looking at some other ones, Aaron Holiday to the Pacers. They get a nice point guard there. Aaron Holiday's a solid point guard. Obviously, brother of Drew Holiday. And I can't think of the other brother that's in Chicago. Obviously, I can just think of Drew's name. That plays for the Pelicans. Mo Wagner to the Lakers. Solid center there for the Lakers they can get. Yeah. Obviously, with the whole free agency thing, it may turn into nothing.
Well, they got Ingram at the forward, so
Well, they have Ingram at the 3, I think, and Randall at the 4.
They do?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's a pretty good point guard, pretty good center.
That's a pretty tall point guard.
I tell you what, though, the one that kind of intrigues me the most is Robert Williams from Texas A&M to the Celtics. And I think the reason it intrigues me the most is because you have Al Horford there.
What position?
He's a center. He's pretty much primarily a shot blocking center, an athletic run rim to rim kind of guy, much like a DeAndre Jordan-esque type player.
Yeah.
But you put him behind Al Horford, right? Obviously not expected to play right away. It's the 27th pick, so you wouldn't really expect that a whole lot anyways. You give him a couple years, maybe Al Horford leaves or retires or whatever, he can fill in. And you saw that, obviously Tim Duncan, much better player, but you saw what it was for him to learn under David Robinson and to have that experience around him. A guy like Robert Williams learning from Al Horford, it goes back to like that whole quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Some can succeed starting right away. Some need a little time to get their beak wet, if you will, right? Learn a little bit, grow, and all that. But, honestly, I'm kind of surprised there maybe wasn't a whole lot of trades in the first round, but you don't necessarily see a whole lot, I guess, on average. I couldn't really tell you, but it seemed like the second round there's a lot of back and forth. But teams without first-round picks. Somewhat surprising that this many teams, to me, didn't have a first-round pick. The Pistons didn't. The Rockets didn't. The Heat did not. The Pelicans, the Thunder, and the Raptors. None of them had a first-round pick. Obviously, a lot of those have been involved in trades. New Orleans, I think, was involved in the DeMarcus Cousins trade. Houston was probably in the Chris Paul trade. The Pistons would be the Blake Griffin trade. But for me, I don't know if you have any other thoughts here on the draft, Rylee. But if you have no other thoughts,
let's advance.
I think we move on now to the NBA Postseason Awards. All right, obviously there's supposed to be regular season awards, right? Not supposed to include the playoffs and all that. Voted on by, I believe, writers and reporters and that of the NBA, as many of the leagues have gone to. But we're going to save MVP for last because I've got some thoughts there.
Oh, yeah.
But first off, let's see, sixth man of the year was, Lou Williams, right?
Yes.
Which everyone thought. Who came in second and third in that one?
Eric Gordon came in second, and Fred VanVleet came in third.
Fred VanVleet, yeah, okay. It did seem like it was a close race somewhat between Eric Gordon and Lou Williams, but I think if Eric Gordon maybe comes on earlier in the year, it's maybe his. I think Lou Williams just showed that consistency throughout the season, fell off a little bit at the end, but I think had built himself up enough throughout the season that it just kind of was no one could catch up to him.
I would agree. Me personally, I wanted Eric Gordon to win just because I feel like he doesn't get he's underrated. I feel like he is underrated.
Well, honestly, I believe both are underrated.
I would totally agree. Even Fred. I think Fred is.
Well, Fred's he's like a second, third year player, maybe rookie. I don't know. I think he's a second or third year player, but he's still coming into his own.
I feel like he's slowly starting to get his game under control. Just me personally, I wanted Eric Gordon to win. Congratulations to Lou, though. I think he definitely improved as sixth man.
All right, what award is up next?
Most improved player.
All right, that was Victor Oladipo?
Yes, sir. We got at second we have Spencer Dinwiddie. Oh gosh, why do they gotta have weird names? And then at third we got Clint
Capella. Just go Clint Capella. Yeah.
Wow, these are killing me right here. Okay. Victor Oladipo, the one guy that I can actually spell.
You know, Clint Capella, I think, is intriguing in the sense that he was third. But I think it was obviously, this was kind of that runaway award for most improved because you saw such a drastic jump from what Victor Oladipo was in OKC to what he is now with the Pacers. You know, he's athletic. He's still young, going to still obviously improve, presumably. And you just never really saw. You maybe saw flashes in OKC of this, but obviously that Pacers team is, you know, it's his team. Obviously, and also playing his college ball there in Indiana too. You know, once again that hometown boy type feel. And I don't think there was a whole lot of argument with this.
No.
With this award.
No, not at all. I do want to show love to your guy Devin Booker. I feel like he's improved a lot, and I feel like he wasn't really considered at all.
Well, I think for him is just because he's had moments in the past few seasons.
He's also on the Suns.
I mean, yeah, exactly. He's also, Victor Oladipo pushed LeBron to 7 games. But, all right, what's up next?
We have Defensive Player of the Year, which this one,
it's
okay. It's interesting. Okay,
it is. I agree. So it was Rudy Gobert
at first. That's the winner.
Yeah, that's the winner.
Second is Anthony
Davis, and who was third?
Joel
Embiid.
Yeah,
was he third? Okay, so for me, I thought this race was more Anthony Davis versus Rudy Gobert.
I can agree.
I guess I always kind of thought Rudy Gobert would win, but I thought Anthony should have won. I should have had their stats put up in front of me. But that's not really the word I care about the most. and we'll get to that in due time. But it just, either one, I think, I didn't really care a whole lot either way here. I thought both were deserving. Obviously, I wanted my guy Anthony to win, but, you know, Rudy Gobert, that's fine. Yeah. I don't really have a whole lot to say on that one.
Really, I don't have anything. I kind of wanted your boy Anthony to win as well. Joel, I'm starting to dislike him. I don't know what it is. I just feel like
I think it's all the Instagram stuff and all that. Like, it makes me start
Instagram, Twitter, the cockiness.
Right, like it starts to where I agree. Yeah.
But I feel like Rudy has really improved over the last year. So, you know, congratulations on that one, Rudy. The next one is Coach of the Year. This one was kind of awkward, if I'm going to be completely honest.
It is, because it's like the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
Pistons. I meant Pistons.
And now the Pistons head coach, which kind of speaks to me of, like, how are you as the Raptors going to get rid of a dude who just won Coach of the Year?
Yeah, you know they were getting laughed at.
You know they kind of had to. But honestly, I kind of wanted to make a case for Brad Stevens.
Dude, I'm all in on that. I think Brad Stevens should have won. I'm kind of ticked off that he didn't win. But, you know, congratulations to Dwayne.
You know, if they had, obviously the records had swapped and the Celtics were like 1 in the East, Brad Stevens probably would have won. But I think there's a difference maybe in the voters' minds between having a star and a superstar. Excuse me. Sorry. Nose itch for a second. The Celtics having Kyrie, right? He's a superstar. And you have Gordon Hayward, who is on the verge, right, between superstar and a star in the league. And you have the Raptors with a couple of stars, in my opinion, in Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, right? Not superstars, stars. You know, like really, really, really good players, but not quite that upper echelon of players in the NBA. arguably Kyrie has the best handles of anyone in the NBA.
Dude, I totally agree.
And I don't know that it's really close. So that kind of helps him get into that superstar realm. But to have him go down, to have Gordon Hayward in your first game go down, and to get a lot out of Jason Tatum, and then obviously I think what hurts Brad Stevens is this is a regular season award. Terry Rozier wasn't Scary Terry until the playoffs.
Yeah, he arose.
And wow, he just if this goes into the postseason, obviously Dwayne Casey will get dinged for that sweep by LeBron. But between the two of them, it was, I think, close. You could make the case, I think. Brad Stevens overcame so much. But for this award, it usually goes to one of the top teams. And, it's kind of harder to give it to Mike D'Antonio in Houston because you got a guy like James Harden and Chris Paul. And I think it kind of fit there for Dwayne Casey. But, yeah, how awkward is that? He gets it technically as the Raptors head coach is when he would have technically won it. He would have won it for being the Raptors head coach that season. Yet now he's in Detroit.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I read some stuff on Twitter after the Coach of the Year award was presented. I died laughing from all the comments and the memes, the jokes, the gifs, all of it. It was hilarious. One thing I will mention is if I had to, even though Dwayne Casey had the best record in the East, if I had to kind of rearrange this, I would make Dwayne Casey third, Quinn Snyder second, and I would make Brad Stevens first. Now, I don't know if you agree with that, but that's how I do.
Quinn Snyder's what, the Jazz head coach?
Yes.
Yeah,
who else? Who else?
No, I think those three set themselves apart. I'm glad it didn't necessarily just go to the best coach or the coach of the best team, because in years past it seemed like that's been the case.
Yeah, that's been annoying.
But yeah, I think Quinn Snyder, he had some moments. I think if Utah maybe could have done more in the regular season, you could talk more about him. But I think for him, it maybe hurts the popularity, I guess, of the Jazz. They're a team that's out west, don't really get a whole lot of love. A guy like Dwayne Casey being at the top of the East, he's going to get more love from the Raptors being at the top. Brad Stevens is a known name, so maybe that's probably where it kind of hurts him a little bit. But all right, what we got next?
Oh boy, Rookie of the Year. We got Ben Simmons as the winner. Okay. We got Jason Tatum as second, which I can slightly agree with. And then you got Donovan Mitchell, which is the third one. I don't like...
I'll let you lead this one. Go ahead.
Okay. Like I said, if I had to rearrange this... Look, I loved Ben Simmons when he was... it's the same with Joel. I love Joel. I think he's a great player. Same as Ben. But with everything social media wise, it is getting annoying. I'm about done with the 76ers.
But here is my only one question.
Okay.
Is this a social media award or is it just a what I did on the basketball court award?
No, it's totally a what I did on the basketball court award. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't like them because of social media. So, if I had to rearrange this, I'd put Jason Tatum still at the second. Jason, like Scary Terry, just came out of nowhere and just showed everybody what he had. Donovan Mitchell, I feel like he came in the league. He had that passion. He had that drive. He knew what he was going to do. And he proved everybody wrong. There's a lot of people that thought, nah, he ain't going to do nothing. But he did so well in this year, I'm surprised he didn't win it. It was close. I'm surprised he's even in third, if I'm going to be completely honest. Ben Simmons is a good player. I'm not going to argue on the whole rookie thing. That whole situation is stupid. But of course, I'd rather obviously have my guy Donnie win it. But what are your thoughts on it?
I agree with you. The whole rookie thing. The problem is, like, I wish almost Jason Tatum would have won it.
Yeah,
just because of the fact that I got so tired of Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell both. Both said stuff, both wore stuff about going back and forth about the rookie. Look, I get it. I get the difference in Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell of how long they've actually been in the league. But from a technical standpoint, Ben Simmons was technically a rookie this year. So, by those, yeah, by default he does win. His numbers were astonishing. I think the thing for Ben Simmons is, obviously not a great shooter. He's pretty much a point guard, just in a power forward type frame.
I know, that's so weird.
And it is. It goes back to kind of that Luka Doncic thing, like,
yeah.
Being that big. But, they played him at point guard, and he gets rebounds too. He's a great passer. I am a little surprised, kind of like you, that Donovan Mitchell was third. I thought it'd be 1-2 with him and Ben Simmons, but maybe people just wanted to kind of break that up with Jason Tatum. And I'd be intrigued to know when these ballots were due in. There's supposed to be a regular season award. And, if after the final game of the regular season that they're due within 24 hours, okay. But if they're not due, until like the second week of the playoffs going, maybe Jason Tatum got a little extra bump there. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't think he'd be this good coming into the league this quick. Because honestly, you didn't really see a whole lot of it at Duke. You didn't really see that showcased. But deservedly so. Like, Ben Simmons, by his numbers, by his play, yes. Like, part of me, I agree with you. I didn't want him to win it just because it was getting so annoying. Which is where I wish, like, Jason Tatum would have won, just to shut Donovan and Ben Simmons up, just because they were both annoying me going back and forth.
Look, I'm always with Donnie, no matter what. But
I know
it was getting annoying. But if I had to rearrange this, it'd be Jason Tatum the winner, then Donovan, then Ben. Look, stats wise, yeah, Ben might have it. The problem is like you said earlier, he is a point guard and a power forward, small forward body. It is so ridiculous. So yeah, his rebounds are way better than Donovan's. His assists are better than Donovan's because he's a great passer. And I don't blame him. The guy's a great player. But, like, really, like, you have that potential. Heck, next year you could be a freaking nominee for the MVP, I don't know. I try not to argue, but it does frustrate me because I feel like Donnie did work hard for it. Even Jason worked his butt off. Yet none of them got nothing. It does frustrate me, but
never would have guessed.
No, not at all. Guess on to the next one, huh?
On to the next.
Oh,
was
boy.
there
Ooh,
just
here
the
we
one
go.
left?
Yep, just one. Here we go.
Oh.
Ooh.
Let's do this.
All right, here we go. MVP, a.k.a. Most Valuable Player. At first, we have James Harden. No, I'm not going to do the James.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. Then we got LeBron James at the second, and surprisingly, because I didn't think it was going to happen, Anthony Davis at the 3. Good job, Anthony. I love Anthony Davis. Look, I'm gonna try not to like flip this mic upside down, like start throwing a tantrum and all that. But why why James Harden? Really?
Like, personally, if it's just me, I feel 100% certain that this is a makeup award for last year because I think he might have deserved it. I'd have to look at last season's stats from when Russ won it. Only reason he didn't win it is because Russ had a historic year in triple doubles. But James Harden, to me, is not the most valuable player for Houston even.
No.
You saw how Houston went when Chris Paul went down. You saw what the Cavs did to try and help LeBron, who basically played with two different teams this year and got his team to the finals, albeit wasn't successful in the finals. But, I mean, come on. Like, the man is in his 15th season, and I don't know if it's just because they don't want to give it to him, because he's already won it, 2-3 times, whatever it is. And so they don't want to let him have it again. But if you're going by the words that MVP stands for, most valuable player, how in the world can you say that James Harden is more valuable to his team than LeBron James? You take LeBron James off the Cavs, and you tell me if they make the playoffs, and if they do, how far they get in the playoffs.
Dude, I'm loving this rampage you're on. Keep going. I'm liking it.
Look, here are the side-by-side comparisons from this season.
Ooh, let me know.
Points. Guess who scored more points this season?
LJ.
LeBron James. He had 2,251 points to James Harden's 2,191 points. Guess who out-rebounded the other? LeBron out-rebounded James Harden. Yeah, you could say they play different positions. I don't care. He out-rebounded him by over 350 rebounds.
Yep.
LeBron James had more assists than James Harden. He had almost 120 more assists, just a little shy of it, mind you, than James Harden. His field goal percentage, better than James Harden's, which obviously, yes, LeBron takes more inside shots. But at the same time, LeBron had the same three-point shooting field goal percentage. Both had 36.7% three-point percentage.
Here's the thing, though. James Harden, you were talking about differences of rebounds. James Harden is a shooter. He's a Stephen Curry with a beard. He is not a rebounder. He shoots threes, looks at them, waits till they go in, and they go in. He's a great shooter. He's literally a Stephen Curry at a shooting guard. Other than that, he's nothing. Nothing. He's great on defense, if anything.
Dude, James Harden gets blown away on defense. That's what kills me.
LeBron
played all 82 games. James Harden missed 10 games.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is if anything.
LeBron had 18 triple-doubles.
I know.
James Harden had 4.
Yeah.
Like, who is this most valuable player to? Most valuable to the media? Most valuable to their team? And even if you went to the league, how is LeBron James not more valuable to this league than James Harden? I mean, good grief. He beats him in pretty much every statistical category.
By like 100.
Yet the dude can seem to never get any love because he plays with superstars on his team. Like, have we not noticed that wherever LeBron goes, that team wins?
He's carried the Cavaliers for the past, 3 years he's been on there ever since he left the Heat? 3 years, right?
Well, I mean,
4 years?
You could say, like, he had Kyrie with him, a couple years. Kyrie got hurt. Kevin Love got hurt. Like, it was still LeBron's team.
If anything, this is He carried them. They had
this year,
nobody.
2015, 16, whatever it was, with Matthew Dellavedova as their point guard.
Who?
My
Exactly.
point.
Who?
Like, it kills me because everybody talks about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan.
Oh,
no. Michael Jordan went 6 finals and won 6. LeBron's been to more finals. Like, how many times has he carried his team to the finals?
Dude, nothing beats rings. I don't care how many times you've been to the finals. That's great. That's like showing up to a birthday party and not blowing out the candles each time. No. You need rings.
See, the league is different. Hey, we're not getting into this discussion.
No, not now, because I'll get all hyped and stuff. No.
But who are you deeming most valuable? Like, what is the definition of who should win this award? Because at that, Anthony Davis, we clearly saw, was valuable to the Pelicans. Like, you could see when Anthony Davis wouldn't be in a game with the Pelicans, how bad they struggled. Especially after DeMarcus Cousins goes down. Right, what's he do? Puts the Pelicans on his back. Sweeps past the Trailblazers. Yeah, albeit gets destroyed then by the Warriors.
But the Warriors are like gods right now.
Right. But, like, where'd James Harden go in that series?
But, by the way, valuable stands for worth a great deal of money. A thing that is of great worth. Just, I like, how...
do I seriously need to state my case any more than that, right?
Exactly. Like, you know how, like, Donnie wore the rookie t-shirt? Yeah, that's exactly what I just did for you. LeBron needs to wear valuable. That's what he needs to do, valuable. Either way, I totally agree with you. I think LeBron should have won. Your boy Anthony, he did great, but I don't think he should have won.
No, I don't think Anthony Davis should have won. But if we are deeming valuable,
yeah,
right
it's
in that,
LeBron, dude. It's LeBron.
Instead of maybe the most popular player, I swear this is what the award seems like to me. The best player who hasn't won this award yet, but is valuable to his team.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like, that's what that's what I think they should rename this title.
Oh, I totally agree. It's not about stats anymore, because stats, LeBron would have beat him. It's more about what you just said.
You don't even need to look at stats. Look at the two teams without those players. You pull the teams. Hello. Like, come on now. Like, the Cavs have, what, Kevin Love?
Kevin Love
if you
is
pull
out
LeBron.
Of his prime. No.
But see, here's my thing. You pull James Harden from the Rockets, you have Chris Paul. Which one's more valuable to you then? Chris Paul, Kevin Love? We got to move on because
no kidding,
we can seriously go on this rampage forever.
You gonna break your desk?
I might break my desk. I might just flip it over.
Do it. I want to see it. Now you're gonna hear a real clank. Bonk.
But that's what drives me nuts the most is how are you gonna name an award the most valuable player and not give it to somebody who is the most valuable to their team? Like, yeah, I get it. In that instance, you could give it to LeBron every year. But every year you see somebody else who is more valuable to their team. Obviously, last year, Russ wins it.
He was valuable.
He was valuable to the Thunder.
43, 46 triple-doubles,
Yeah,
I think it was.
Right, whatever. A record-breaking number of triple-doubles. Like, hell, I mean, come on. Right, James Harden, yeah, he probably should have won it last year. But this cannot turn into an award where we give it to the person who should have got it last year, but has still had a really good season this year, and they're the best player who hasn't won this yet, so let's give them this award.
No, this is not a little kid show. No.
Like, screw these stupid participation trophies and everybody wins. Like, if LeBron wins the next 5 in a row, that's great. Somebody else then become more valuable to your team than him.
Yeah.
Like, it drives me insane because I think he misses some respect that he should deserve in the sense how important he is to his team. I mean, if you don't know his value, look at what these teams are doing to try to get him in free agency. Right? You don't see all these teams lining up for Paul George in free agency. You see the Lakers trying to get LeBron. You see the Cavs trying to keep LeBron. The Sixers trying to get LeBron. Right? Those are kind of the big three. How you going to tell me that's not valuable?
Oh, I agree with
but
every word you
while
said.
we're here, moving on to free agency.
Yep.
Starts, Sunday?
Yeah.
Recording this on the Wednesday, the 27th. And July the 1st, Sunday, starts free agency. I'm not sure what time officially it starts. Do you happen to know by chance?
No.
Okay.
If I had to guess, maybe around 1.
I don't know. They always hit odd times for that.
I know.
But, there are kind of more dominoes than we think. Yeah, this is technically the summer of LeBron, and, the thing is he still has to opt in or opt out. Which could lead down a large role, and I'm trying to calm myself some more.
No kidding.
But in that sense that, Paul George is a free agent. DeMarcus Cousins is going to be out there. Even a serviceable guy still in Dwight Howard is now a free agent because Brooklyn, he got traded to Brooklyn and they bought out his contract and all that. But it seems interesting because people are starting to make trades. We saw Marcin Gortat get traded from the Wizards to the Clippers for Austin Rivers. And so I'll ask you this, Rylee, because I saw this reading through on some stuff on DeMarcus Cousins. And someone put it, and they wrote an article about how Washington could maybe make that happen. So first off, are the Wizards, do you think, possible for DeMarcus? Now, mind you, they have to make some adjustments. They'd probably have to do a sign-and trade because of money.
Don't they have Gortat on their team? Is that who their center is?
You don't pay attention to me, do you?
Yeah.
I literally just got done talking about Marcin Gortat getting traded to the Clippers for Austin Rivers.
I'm thinking about Tater Tots right now after saying his name. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
No, he's no longer there.
Dagnab, okay.
Which, there was some tension between him and John Wall.
Really?
Of the two, right, who are you going to get rid of? Well, because
John.
I think it was John Wall was quoted saying something like, we need a center who's like more athletic and shoot and basically everything that Gortat's really not. But I honestly think DeMarcus Cousins could be a pretty good fit there for Washington. Now, you roll your eyes at me.
Bruh.
But you got Bradley Beal, you've got John Wall. DeMarcus can step out and shoot it. If you're obviously going to have to keep some pieces with them there. But, problem is a guy like Otto Porter Jr. is probably on the trading block if they go to try to get DeMarcus Cousins.
Look, if anybody's going to go after DeMarcus, it's going to be the Pelicans. They had that piece of the puzzle. He might be hurt, but they had that piece of the puzzle. They had it in their hands.
They did, but at the same time, a lot of reports out there say that the Pelicans aren't willing to go like a max deal and to go, all these years that DeMarcus is apparently wanting. So, I see the Mavericks stepping in, which, if you remember, just got Luka Doncic. Get DeMarcus, Dirk still there for another year. A couple good bigs inside. Then still
look, I get what you're saying, but you gotta listen to me. I never said anything about them not wanting them. I'm just saying the biggest possibility is them. They had that last piece of the puzzle in their hands, and that got broke. It got snapped in half. Now they're fixing it, and if they could just put it back in there, they'd have a full puzzle. But no, I think the Pelicans should go after DeMarcus, but I don't think they will. I don't know why, but whatever. The whole situation with John Wall and Bradley Beal, it could be a possibility. Look, I would love to see that team. Okay, I would love to see that team. I think that would be a great team, even if Otto Porter doesn't get traded.
Well, I think he would. I think Otto Porter would probably end up getting traded, but then you might be able to keep like a Kelly Oubre Jr. There. Like,
yeah, but wouldn't he be in free agency?
Who?
DeMarcus. So you wouldn't need
he
a trade.
would. Well, here's how it would have to work. Like
confusion.
Well, because LeBron could do the same thing. Like Chris Paul did this last year. Chris Paul opted into his contract with the Clippers to get himself traded to the Rockets. I don't think DeMarcus quite has that same, but it could be a sense that he says to the Pelicans, and even LeBron, I think, did this for the Cavs when he went to the Heat. He did like a sign-and trade. So DeMarcus signs with the Pelicans, then the Pelicans trade DeMarcus to be able to recoup some assets, at the same time allowing Washington to free up some cap space to be able to take on DeMarcus Cousins. You know, because right now they have a lot of money tied up in John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter Jr. Like, a lot of money tied up in those three because those all have max deals. So to get DeMarcus, you probably have to give up like an Otto Porter Jr., some other pieces of your bench, and when your bench isn't that great, as you know, the Wizards' bench is not great. So, you know, who are you going to really give up? That's why it worked for the Rockets last year. Is they had some pretty decent pieces that they could move with the Clippers, and then they found other trade partners, you know, to move things around to make money work. That's the biggest issue for Washington, is making the money work. If you had me to pick for DeMarcus, I'd say it's either Dallas or New Orleans. I think those are maybe his options.
Dallas.
Really? But, well, Dallas. They're willing to pay. Like, if they're willing to pay and give him what he wants money-wise, like...
Man, Dallas Mavericks, besides Dirk, like, I mean, if anything, you're going to be working alongside Dirk Nowitzki. But besides that Luka kid... there isn't really nothing there. No players. Now, look, if, like, they try to go after John Wall, I mean, granted, you might have to, like, for real trade for him.
Oh, I mean, they would. John Wall's locked into, like, 2022 or something like that.
Okay, so maybe John Wall's off the list. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they try to go after, like, someone like Drew Holiday, you know? You never know with this trade. I don't think he'll go to Dallas. I think he'll either go to New Orleans or it's going to be the Wizards. I don't think the Mavericks will be an option for him. Just because the way I'm looking at the trades right now, there's nothing there. John Wall, you're not going to be able to get traded. Because, I mean, you got to at least add one more player. There's no way that Dirk and Cousins is going to be able to carry the team.
Well, you would hope Luka Doncic would come in and have an impact. But you also have... Dennis Smith Jr., which is a player on the rise for the Mavericks. The other thing, you know, we may be forgetting is the Lakers. Maybe they want to take a flight on Boogie.
Dude, there's so much crap
but see, here's my other thing. Like, when we talk Lakers, right? There's a lot of talk, a lot of speculation. Especially if you see some of the stuff like Brian Windhorst is talking about and Woj. If you hear, you know, what Adrian Wojnarowski is talking about, like, both of them are saying, look, LeBron and Paul George don't want to be the first one to basically declare to the Lakers because there's not a lot there at the Lakers. You know, yeah, Kyle Kuzma, you know, Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, they're there, but you don't really know what you got with them. You know, at least if LeBron comes back, and I saw a quote from Brian Windhorst that was saying, you know, LeBron really doesn't think they're as far away, the Cavs team, as everyone else does. You know, everyone on the outside. So, it keeps coming up more and more. Paul George looking at maybe staying in OKC. Apparently about a year ago, I don't know if you heard Woj say this or saw it, that like if this would have been last year, Paul George would have been going to the Lakers, like automatically.
Yeah.
But he's kind of a little more open to like staying in OKC. He likes playing apparently with Russ. Obviously it takes time to get used to playing with a player like Russ, like Billy Donovan, the organization, the city, all that. So the interesting thing to me is, what happens if the Lakers get nobody? I know I saw something headline or something that Magic apparently said he'd step down if they got nobody.
Well, no, no, that's not what he said. He said if I can't bring him up out of nothing in 2 years, I'm stepping down. I believe it is either 2 or 3 years. I believe it's 2 if I had to pick. Look, I'd be really, really, and I mean downright surprised if the Lakers got nobody. There's all this talk going on, all of it. So through social media, everything, papers, whatever it may be. There's so much talk about everybody going to the Lakers. But with all this confusion that's going on right now, I could just see them not ending up with anybody. But I'd still be surprised.
Well, and I think for me, like you say, all this talk is going on. That may be the issue for the Lakers, is that so much talk around them is going on that everybody's like, well, what in the world are they actually doing? Like, are they trading for Kawhi? Are they going to be able to acquire Kawhi? Which in and of itself is a whole different story. The Spurs are kind of taking offers, but they're not taking offers. They don't want to go to the West. Oh, they want to trade to the East. Now they're trading to anybody, trying to work on their relationship with Kawhi. But if a really good offer comes, they'll take it. Like,
I'm done with the Spurs.
Like, this whole drama with the Spurs and Kawhi, like, just please trade him.
Please.
Honestly, it reminds me of DeMarcus Cousins and the Kings.
Honestly. No, don't hurt. Don't at me.
I just can't.
Honestly, that is a really good joke. By the way, yes, I do agree with you. It's a whole DeMarcus situation all over again.
Well, I mean, because the Kings said, we're not trading DeMarcus. We like DeMarcus. DeMarcus the whole time there was saying he liked it in Sacramento. He still does a lot of philanthropy work there in Sacramento.
Look, if the Lakers are going to get anybody, I hope they get Kawhi. I really do. I want LeBron to leave the Cavs just because I'm so tired of him wearing that stupid jersey. That is so annoying. The colors are awful. The players are awful. The players are trash. The coach is trash. I'm just done with everything. Heck, LeBron James to the Magic confirmed. It's confirmed. It's going to happen. Watch it.
Dude, ain't nobody going to the Magic. The Magic are probably still lucky to be an NBA franchise.
No kidding. Yeah, were they even in the draft? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Look, the Lakers situation, I'm interested in finding out what happens. If I had to pick what's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. It's going to stay the same. PG's going to stay in OKC. Kawhi's going to go either to the Lakers or he's going to stay on the Lakers. I think he will go to the Lakers is what's going to happen.
Well, here's my thing.
Okay.
And I say this because for the Spurs, do you want to be able to trade Kawhi to somebody like the Lakers, who presumably he's going to anyways next year when he's a free agent, right?
See, but I don't want Lonzo leaving. I hope they don't trade him.
Or do you trade Kawhi and try to get what you can out of the Lakers? A Kyle Kuzma, maybe you can get Mo Wagner or something. Like, that's the problem, is that the Lakers, they can't trade Mo Wagner if he signs here, I don't know if he has or not already, but if he has, right, you have to wait 30 days. So then you come into this whole issue of, well, crap, we can't complete this trade by free agency. You know, LeBron doesn't want to be kind of that first ripple in the pond for free agency. He wants to kind of see where things go. And, you know, more and more I hear of LeBron wants to kind of know what's happening before he decides, it makes me think he's staying with the Cavs, and this is just a smokescreen. Because, to me, the Cavs apparently have some options to maybe trade Colin Sexton and, you know, maybe Jordan Clarkson for, like, Kemba Walker and maybe some other players to make money match. But I think you put a player like Kemba Walker with LeBron, Kevin Love, like...
What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? What no. No. Dude, Kemba Walker, who? By the way, I don't know why, but I get them mixed up with Michael Kidd Gilchrist all the time. Heck, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the whole Charlotte Bobcats, Charlotte Hornets kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways, no. Look, Kemba Walker, it could work, but that dude is meh.
I think for Kemba, though, his problem is he's on the Hornets. Like,
yeah, I can agree.
You know, maybe not being able to have that ability to really shine. You know, Michael Jordan said he wouldn't trade him for anything less than an all-star, which obviously neither of those would be all-stars. But you get the potential in Colin Sexton to be, you know, a really, really good NBA point guard. Jordan Clarkson can play right away. Kemba gets the ability to try and chase a ring. You know, if LeBron is there. Now, obviously, the problem is you have to kind of convince LeBron to come back without being able to trade for anybody, right? You know, same thing happened when LeBron comes back and has Andrew Wiggins there, right? He doesn't know immediately that a Kevin Love trade is going to happen because you can't trade Andrew Wiggins for the 30 days. So, you know, that I think has a lot of factors. The more and more I go, I honestly don't believe LeBron is going to the Sixers.
No.
And I don't think it has anything to do with the whole Brian Colangelo stuff and all that, and it may now have something to do, but here's my problem. LeBron and Ben Simmons play pretty much the same position. You know, that power forward shooting guard that plays point guard. Like, they're not obviously the same player. But in that instance, is LeBron going to become a jump shooter?
No.
Is Ben Simmons, who has issues shooting? Like,
no.
Neither one of it. So I just don't think it works there in Philadelphia. Maybe Philadelphia can go and get Kawhi or something, you know, have enough assets to go acquire him.
As much as that makes me sure, you're making me sick.
If we're going to the summer LeBron, I think it's Lakers or Cavs.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally, I think, your choices.
OKC.
No.
Magic.
The thought of LeBron going to the Magic and going, I will revitalize this organization.
Could you imagine? They'd be like,
okay.
Okay, I don't know how this happened, but all right, we'll take it. I think people actually forgot about the Magic. Are they even on the NBA games?
Yeah, they're at like the, you know, like 60 rating or something for the team.
Yeah. Ew. That's disgusting.
Ooh. So how about this? Just popped up here on my phone as we record this. Mavs actively pursuing DeAndre
Jordan?
Yes.
Oh.
So
what the heck, dude? Why do you need a center? You have Dirk.
Yeah, but Dirk's on his way up. Plus, Dirk plays power forward. But anyways,
you get the point.
Anyways, the Mavs here, didn't they have a deal with DeAndre Jordan done?
What, the Mavs? No.
Yeah, no. Wasn't it the Mavs that had one done and he went back on that deal to go back to the Clippers? Or they let him out of it? Remember that a few years ago?
I know what you're talking about, but
I think it was the Mavs. I think the Mavs had DeAndre Jordan locked down.
Yeah.
And then they let him out. Anyways.
Dude, the Clippers are going to be nothing.
DeAndre Jordan is kind of in the same boat Chris Paul was in last year. You opt in, you're likely going to be traded. You opt out, you become a free agent. So it's, do I risk, the market, or do I take the money I know I'm guaranteed by my contract and then see what I can do? So if I had to guess, he'll probably opt in, then get traded. But, obviously if you're going to pursue DeAndre Jordan as a trade, you may not be that focused on DeMarcus Cousins, as we previously talked about. So,
Exactly.
Maybe that opens up some more doors, and DeMarcus just stays there in New Orleans. Maybe he goes to the Lakers. Maybe he's that first pebble.
Stop. No.
He goes to the Lakers, and LeBron goes, all right, I got me a center.
You're annoying.
Like,
Just kidding.
I mean, honestly, though, think about it. When was the last time LeBron really had a center?
Chris Bosh, if anything.
If you put him at center, he kind of wanted more power forward-ish.
What?
But, like,
What? Man.
but think of this. When he was at the Cavs, an old Shaq, right? Like, Shaq was obviously a true center.
Wait.
He played there for like a season or two.
Really?
Yes.
What the heck? Okay, either I'm just way too freaking young, or don't say nothing. I see you smirking. Don't say nothing, dude. How did I not know that? I thought after what was the last before he went to the Cavs? Which team was he on?
I think he was on the Heat.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, you know what? Hang on. I'm trying to think here.
He went to like 14.
Well, he was at the Magic, obviously, originally. Then
He
ended
went to
up at the Lakers. I think from there he went to the Heat. And for some reason, I want to say maybe the Heat traded him to Phoenix.
What?
And then from there, he went to the Cavs, or maybe the Cavs traded him to the Suns for a little bit. I don't know. Look up Shaq. Use your phone.
I don't feel like it.
Look up Shaq's his career where he played. While we continue on here, but to me, the more and more feeling I get for like Paul George is he stays in OKC, at least for a couple years. What?
The very last one is the Boston Celtics. Just throwing that in there real quick. Yeah.
Shaq played for the Celtics?
Yeah, according to
When?
landofbasketball.com. Look, if you type in okay, here his teams. Orlando Magic 1992 to 1993 to 1995 to 1996. Los Angeles Lakers 1996 to 2004. Miami Heat 2004 to 2008, then Phoenix Suns 2008 to 2009. Then he went to the Cavs for 1 year, and then the Boston Celtics for 1 year. And that was the 2011 season, or 2010 season, sorry. What in the world? What? Okay, when was Shaq the best? Lakers?
You'd have to go with Lakers Shaq.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd pick too.
Like, that was really when he was in his prime, too.
Yeah.
Right about...
That and
I'd say right about 2000, somewhere in there, like, give or take a year or two. That was prime Shaq.
Yeah, that was crazy Shaq.
Anyway, I thought you were going to continue on there.
Awkward. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I thought you were going to continue on. My bad there.
I was going to say, I can make some weird noises.
Let's not just make weird noises. Let's not do that. Paul George. Where do you...
I think he's going to come back.
To OKC?
Yeah.
See, I kind of get that feeling because here's what I feel. I feel that the Lakers go out and somehow are able to acquire Kawhi from the Spurs. Okay? and then they get LeBron or Paul George. Obviously, they can't get both because they have 2 max players. Or only 2 max spots. But you get LeBron or Paul George, and obviously you'd want LeBron if you can get LeBron over Paul George.
Right.
So, it just... I think there was, at the beginning of this, it was like, oh, Paul George, LeBron James, both of the Lakers. Now, maybe if the two of them talk, amongst each other, which I don't know if technically is legal by the league, but, if they say, hey, I'm going to L.A., I want to go to L.A., you want to come with me? And they're like, yeah, I'll come with you. They both go, same time. Because obviously neither one wants to be the first one. And so that's why, you see the Lakers trying to acquire Kawhi. Apparently the Celtics have tried to acquire Kawhi. Say that 5 times fast, by the way. Acquire Kawhi.
No, I'm good. I'd rather not make an idiot of myself on the podcast. But then again, been there, done that, not going to do it again. All right.
But, you think of those things, like, if LeBron goes to LA, everybody's going to be like, oh, I told you so. But what happens when he stays in Cleveland?
I told you so.
You're like, you can be like, oh, I saw that one coming. No, you didn't, you idiot.
Boy.
You just said he was going to LA.
I'm not an LA fan. Bye.
But, that's like even for the Sixers, they still, I think, have to kind of clear a little bit of space to even make LeBron able to come there. So... I don't know. Cleveland, L.A., what you got for LeBron?
Cleveland.
See, I think Cleveland, too. I think the problem with the Lakers is there's so much uncertainty.
I would agree. I want him out of Cleveland. I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I want him out of there. Just because I want him to a different team. I saw him on the Heat.
But do you think that diminishes his...
legacy
career if he goes to a different team?
Man, heck no. Man, if anything, he's destroying his career right now.
Well, I think if you went to a team like the Lakers, right, maybe one other superstar joins him, Kawhi, PG, whatever.
Then they're going to go back to a KD situation. Oh, he joined for the rings.
But see, that's not that's what drives me nuts. And you might get me on another rampage here. KD legit joined a team that beat him in the playoffs, that just had the most wins in a regular season in NBA history. He joined them.
Can't beat him, join him.
That's exactly the thing he took on. LeBron went down to Miami, and together they formed.
Yeah.
The big three. KD went to something that was already there.
Yeah, now, people would argue with you right now. I'm not going to argue with you because I can't stand KD after what he did. Little snake. Anyways, look, people are going to argue that, oh, it was just Steph and Clay. No, you had Draymond Green, Iguodala, Steph,
There's a reason they call them the Hampton Five.
Even then.
Because Clay, Steph, Draymond, and Andre Iguodala met with KD in the Hamptons, and that was apparently what convinced him to come to Golden State.
No, what convinced him is having the Splash Brothers there. And yeah, but you get what I mean.
But I mean, you honestly see that KD literally went ring chasing to go to the Warriors because he took less money. Yeah. Like, he voluntarily took less money to get the rings and went to a team, mind you, that just set the single season record for most victories in a season. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I'm about done with the Warriors. I like Steph. He's getting too cocky for me. I love Steve Kerr. He's getting too cocky for me. Draymond Green, can't stand. Wish he'd leave. Wish he'd retire. Clay, he's all right. I still like him a little bit. KD's a snake, a little brat. Iguodala, he's a cool guy. He's kind of like bros, you know. Other than that, I like team's okay, you know. Iguodala is pretty much the only one I can stand because Iguodala, he's not cocky. He's a humble. I feel like he's a humble man, you know. But, whatever the Warriors like to do. Look, I don't think I was around when the Bulls won and all that. But I can tell you this. If this is what it was like, this is crap. That was crap.
Well, I mean, they won 3 straight and then once again won 3 straight.
Exactly. So, I'm hoping this does not turn into another, was it 1996 Bulls?
Well, it had been, 96, 97, 98 Bulls?
Yeah. So
that was second run, so.
Yeah, if this turns in to a Bulls run, I'm like, I don't think it'll happen because there's people forming teams as we speak.
The thing with the Bulls is I believe they played different teams each of those years. Like one, I think, was the Jazz and John Stockton and Karl Malone.
Ooh, back in the Legend days.
So, it wasn't like you got this Cavs Warriors series. But, to me, I think LeBron stays in Cleveland, especially if he thinks they're not that far away. Why go somewhere else where you're not 100% sure?
Yeah.
You're not exactly sure what Lonzo really has to contribute or, Kyle Kuzma. Like, you think you might know, but how's that going to interact with you being there?
Even then, real quick, how do you know that one of them won't get traded for you?
Well, for the Lakers' purposes, I think they can actually just sign straight. They don't have to trade. But, if you think you're close, why not take it again in Cleveland and try to become that hero again? And who's to say he doesn't sign a 2-year deal and then goes somewhere else? For Paul George, I lean toward OKC more. I don't know what your thought.
Yay, that's my thought right there. Yay.
I think he tries to come back to OKC and try something with Russ. But DeMarcus Cousins, I lean towards Pelicans just because I don't know what market there really is for him, especially coming off an Achilles injury and being a big man. I'm trying to think of some other free agents that are out there.
Kawhi.
Well, Kawhi would have to be traded. He's a free agent next year.
Okay. Magic confirmed.
But the thing.
Don't say that's true. Don't do that.
The thing with Kawhi, I think, is the fact that it's that whole thing. Do I trade him and get something out of him, or do I let him walk free and get nothing in return? So maybe the Lakers go ahead and get Kawhi, and then maybe they strike out with LeBron or something like that. But if LeBron does stay in Cleveland, I think you see some roster changeover, obviously. At maybe some of the weaker points that they feel need to be addressed. Any other free agents that you can think of off the top of your head? I'm trying to think. Technically, Chris Paul could be, but he's going to re-sign with the Rockets.
Duh.
I think KD could be, but he'll re-sign with the Warriors.
Duh. A.K.A. Snake.
DeAndre Jordan, he could. I think he opts in and gets traded. Dwight Howard's out there, but who really cares about him anymore?
I was going to say, he was only good at, the Rockets?
No, he's good at the Magic.
Was he on the Magic?
Yeah.
Dude, it's been
You know what's funny, though?
Time flies, dude. Holy crap.
He was with the Magic and then went to the Lakers, right?
What? Dude, time really flies.
Yeah, but think of this. Think of the 2 centers that the Magic had at one point in their franchise history. You had Shaq and you had Dwight Howard.
Dude, 2 huge.
Both killed it in Orlando and then went to L.A.
Dude, that is crazy.
But, I'm trying to think of any other free agents that are out there. Can you think of any other ones? There's some we're missing. There's smaller guys, obviously, that we're missing. Rondo, I think, might be a free agent.
No, but I'd love to see Damian go somewhere else.
Damian Lillard?
Yeah.
I don't know if he does. I think you might see a change in Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan.
Or both of them could just come down to Portland.
Or Kyle Lowry goes to Cleveland.
You ruin everything.
But, I mean, honestly, if you're Kobe Altman, which is the GM for the Cavs, do you prepare for life with LeBron or without? Or, how do you try to split that difference,
Yeah, I can agree, but still.
For me, I feel like I can see the Lakers like missing on these and then just spending money somewhere else, dumb and being dumb like that. Mm-hmm. But
stupid magic.
I don't know. I lean towards LeBron staying and Paul George staying. Like
I lean towards Damian Lillard going to the Magic.
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. Confirmed.
You're just waiting for somebody to go to the Magic.
Yes. By the way, guys, I'm not a Magic fan.
They're so irrelevant that it's funny.
Yeah,
exactly.
It really is.
Who's more irrelevant though, Magic or the Nets?
Magic.
Yeah.
Because you gotta think, who was a point guard there?
Alfred Payton. Oh, he's a free agent.
No. He was on the Cavs at one point. Devon Williams?
Darren Williams.
Darren Williams. Thank you.
Yeah, but by the way, Alfred Payton, the dude with the hair,
mm-hmm.
Which nobody could see my hand motion there, but it's okay.
Yeah, you should have seen it. It was like some crazy stuff. I wish I would have had that on camera.
But he went to the Suns, and the Suns didn't do his contract again. So he's a free agent, but who cares where he goes, really?
No. What about the Denver Nuggets? They're irrelevant, but...
Okay, so in the case of the Denver Nuggets...
Oh, boy.
No, well, here's my thing. You look at some of the young talent, they got some pieces there. But they kind of strapped themselves with, a Paul Millsap, right? They had money to burn, and they went out and paid big money for Paul Millsap. That's what I think some teams are going to do. They've got this money to burn, and they're going to burn it on, like the Lakers did with Luol Deng. You just give them these stupid contracts that they don't deserve just because you have the money to burn. But if you can't think of anything else, Rylee,
nope.
any other free agents,
nope.
We're going to call it quits on this episode. Come back next week, and who knows, we may know by next week where LeBron and Paul George are going, which will be, the 4th of July when we do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
by the way,
4th of July.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend. Hang out with family. Shoot some fireworks. Have some fun.
Just, don't do Jason Pierre-Paul and shoot your hand off. But
there you go.
That's our public safety announcement. For any other ones, you can hit us up on Twitter at Rylee_RD Sports, RYLEE on the Rylee. You can hit me up at Dish_RD Sports. You can follow the podcast page on Facebook, facebook.com/RD Sports Report. And, nothing else I can think. Oh, I almost forgot.
Ooh.
Help us out a little bit.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Go on to iTunes or wherever in the world you're listening. And, first hit the subscribe button. But once you do that, you go ahead, go down, write a review, and rate us. If this is your first episode, this is your, I don't know what number this is. I don't know.
25, I believe?
No, it's somewhere closer to 30.
Oh.
Anyways, if you've been listening that long, bless your soul.
Yes. Thank you. By the way.
And if you've been listening that long, what are you waiting for on the review? 5 stars only, please. That's just the way we like it. It's good karma. And, with all that being said, Rylee, once again, glad to have you back.
Glad to be here.
Try to quit leaving so much.
Okay.
And with all that being said, that'll do it for another episode of the R&D Sports Report.